Alright, welcome back to another episode of Rough Rigs Podcast. Roughest podcast around.
Yes, sir.
How was your weekend, Mitch?
Oh, fantastic, mate. Cricket's flowing. You know, the boys are getting around it. Plenty of drinking, as per, cricket season.
You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, you can't, but then the next morning you hate yourself, but that's alright.
Nothing that a bit of Macca's can't fix.
Oh, yeah. Keep it to yourself, mate. I'll stick with the dirty bird.
Alright.
How was your weekend, my friend?
Yeah, it was alright. Didn't do much.
A bit of umpiring?
Bit of umpiring, bit of work. Nothing too exciting.
Mm.
So, excited for this weekend, though. Grand Final.
Yep.
First week of cricket. So,
For you, hey?
it's all happening.
Kicking off. You at home or?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So, should be good getting back into it.
Yeah. Touch on the weekend. We couldn't get the dub. We fell short, but the team we versed, if we have a full team that first week, I think we kill them. It's a beating, an actual beating. So we had 11 players the next week, 12, the spare. And they were already on 49 to start the day. They chased our tally with two or three wickets to spare, and she was a crawl. She was a crawl for the boys' bat, and I'll say that much. That was stressing. They needed 4 to get their in on a dead ball, on one of my balls. I wasn't happy. And to the captain's reasoning, they don't know the rules. And I said to the umpire, you are on B3s, which isn't high, but, you'd think they would understand what a dead ball was.
Well, if you're going to umpire, you need to know the rules.
I didn't care as much, but I was just like, come on, man. Like, I get you want to win the first game, but fuck, you're probably going to win it anyway.
Yeah.
To his response was like, oh man, you would have run on a dead ball. And I was like, but I had the same issue happen to me last week, and I said, nah, man, I didn't move. I didn't play a shot.
Yeah.
Pretty much I just threw one down the legs, and he got caught, and he didn't move. He just kept his feet where it was and sort of just turned. He turned his feet. He didn't actually, do anything. He sort of just went, and then he ran, and I'm like, they scored 2 down leg because it was a bit of an arm ball.
Yeah.
So I just skimmed the legs, and they sort of won off that, But what can you do? The boys are looking good. Everyone was bowling well. I had one of the young fellas bowl well to a left-hander. This left-hander had no idea. I don't know what our bowler was doing, but he just couldn't hit the ball. We had 2 slips in, ready to rock. Overall, it was a good weekend. I think we're going to win some games. Some big scores in our comp, so I'm a bit worried about that. But moving forward, I think we'll win.
Good to hear.
I hope you do well.
Yeah, well, I hope so too.
Do you know who you're versing?
I do.
Are they good?
I think they scored over 200 last week.
Okay, so
it's
about average.
Yeah.
Around that average mark.
Yeah.
But cricket's a funny sport, mate. Cricket is a funny sport.
So people say.
Oh, we know. We know firsthand, bro.
Right, you've been shopping again, haven't you?
I've been shopping, dude. Shop till I drop sort of stuff. Nah, well, for the drink of the week, I sort of just roll into the local 7-Eleven, and I just look around and I think, what might Will not have had? And myself too, but more Will, because I've had fucking probably every drink in the 7-Eleven aisle. Bit of a whore for, 7-Eleven and his drinks. So this week, I've gone with Prime Energy, and I think it's strawberry watermelon flavour. I've had the other ones. I think I've had the green one and the blue one. I haven't had the pink, or whatever you want to call this colour, but it's that one. So we're going to try this. They're pretty shit, but we're going to give you an honest reaction.
Let's give it a go.
I actually haven't tried this, so this could be fucking shit. Better than last week. By a country mile in my books.
Yeah, I think so. Not a big fan of it.
Last week isn't much to go off, so yeah. What do you think?
It's very sweet, isn't it?
It's like the Zupa Dupas
Yeah.
put into an energized carbonated drink. Best way to put it. I'd give that like I gave them 5 last week. I wish I could change that to a 3. Probably give this like a 5 too.
Yeah.
But better taste than that. It's like the pink Super Duper, but like less fruity. Does that make sense? That cotton candy one. It's not like, I'm not saying it's as good as cotton candy because it's fucking not. But it reminds me of a Super Duper if they had like some unique flavour.
Yeah.
Like a strawberry.
It's not a bad taste, but it's not something that I want again.
No,
Like,
it's not something. You have it once every fucking 6 weeks.
As a hydration drink as well. Like if I've had a big day at cricket, I want to be drinking that.
You'd rather have a V, Red Bull,
Powerade,
Gatorade, something Raid.
Yeah, no. I gave it a 7 last week.
You gave that a 7.
I was very generous.
If you could change your score, would you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd drop that down. But I think
a lot.
I'd give this a 6.
Solid 6?
A 6, yeah.
I might stick with the 5s. Look, because that didn't blow wind up my skirt by any means, but it wasn't horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't know. It's like I'll finish it.
It's drinkable.
Yeah.
It is drinkable. I will say that.
I'm not gonna enjoy it.
Like it wasn't like last week where I kept just looking at the can going, I know there's still 70% of the can in there. That did go down the sink, listeners. That did go down
Actually,
the
I'm dropping it down to a 5. I might not finish this one.
Oh, okay. Oh, there you go. There's our, drink of the week. Moving forward, I'll go fuck myself. But no, not bad. As a whole.
Alright. So, bit of footy last week.
Bit of footy.
Bit of a
beat down,
probably wasn't the matches that we thought it was going to be. Thought it'd be, especially the second game. I think Panthers Storm. I think we both thought it was probably going to end up this way. I was very big on Panthers. I thought they'd win by plenty, and they did.
You had the minus 21.5.
Yeah.
And I received a lot of messages on my private account going, Will's on here.
I thought I was.
And I'll be honest, in that second game, I thought you were on. And then...
It started off looking good. And
it did.
But no, Panthers Storm, it just... They started all right, the Storm. I think they scored first, didn't they?
Well, they were in the grind.
Yeah.
That was the main thing we said. If they can hang in that grind for 60 minutes, who knows?
Yeah.
But they just couldn't.
Oldham scored early, and then they had a few opportunities that they kind of bombed in that first 20 minutes or so. And then once Penrith they just went through the grind.
Their pack, just so big. Their pack is
once they get on top, you can't get them back. So
what was the who was the standout player for you in that game? Because I watched it at work.
I'd say Cleary. He was really good.
So I think I'm a bit of a slut for
the forwards were great. They really laid the platform, but I think Cleary just capitalised any opportunity they had. He was all over.
That's true. He does finish a lot of things that the big boys create, as in momentum wise, and he doesn't really miss the mark that often, does he?
Like the boy Isaiah Yeo, Len Yu, Fisher Harris, they were all outstanding as well.
Yep.
But I think Dylan Edwards, he had a bit of a quieter game. I don't think he was at quite his best.
Which I think is sort of good for him to show that he doesn't need to have 370 metres for them to win by 40. So.
What about Luai? He had a great game.
He had a great game, but you could tell, and obviously, you could tell he was trying to protect that shoulder, which is...
I thought once he got named, I thought Storm had more of a chance than without him.
Yeah.
Because I thought they'd have Nelson just running into that shoulder, create a lot of pressure from the inside and outside defenders.
Yep.
Trying to help out Luai. But it didn't really pan out that way. They kind of didn't target him as much as what I thought they would.
He's a bit of a psychopath, though, because he was still going in hard to make some of those tackles right at the start.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, his shoulder would be taped to the shit house. They would have some form of plate under it or a pad, extra padding, but he's a psychopath, but he just ripped in as much as he could. But then you could see about the 60-minute mark, he would just cruise out to the left wing and just miss a set or two.
Well, he got out. He got taken off with, I think, 20 to go. So.
Yeah, well, when you're that far ahead, I guess you've got the ability to rest your players. Nothing against the Storm, they just got out muscled. Proper just an out muscle. And as most teams will, against Panthers.
Yeah. I think they pretty much overachieved this year, I reckon. Like, when you look at their team on paper, they've got Munster, Jerome Hughes, Harry Grant. Like, their spine's decent,
Yeah.
but they don't really have that. Their forward pack is not as strong as what it has been the last few years.
100%. I agree.
Like, apart from Nelson, there's not a lot there.
Well, there's not a lot of punch like they used.
Yeah.
Like they used to have this always.
It used
one
to be
guy.
relentless.
Yeah, always. But I've been impressed with Liero. They're blooding some young blokes, and he's been really good in that back row
He's
spot.
been good. So has Katoa.
Yeah, true. Katoa's been very
He's
good.
had a great year.
He's been a great pickup, really, because Warriors obviously wanted a different style of back row, leading with Niokore and Ford, and obviously he's a bit of a not a hothead in a bad way, but when he's on, he's on.
Yeah.
Like he's on.
Well, he just runs good lines.
So it's good to see them, getting players for the future too. Plenty of injuries, but for Melbourne.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm not saying that's why they got beat, but there's just
Well, you throw Pappenhausen into that team at full fitness, it's
Yeah.
a completely different team.
both centres.
It's just that extra dynamic.
Well, they haven't been starting Olam either all
Yeah.
year. He's been sort of
Well, he's been very poor defensively, so I don't know what they'll do next year.
Yeah, similar to Talakai, huge upside on offense, like huge, massive.
Yeah.
Whereas, but defense are very hit or miss. They're either on or they're completely off. But obviously, Panthers wouldn't know that and attack. Well, they did. They attacked
Yeah,
that edge
yeah.
like it was fucking the middle of the field.
Yeah, well, they probably scored four tries down his centre
Yeah.
or through his side of the field.
Have you
so.
noticed that the Panthers will always take on the short side?
Mm.
Like it doesn't matter what part of the game. If there's if they know you're out of position by half a step,
Yeah.
Luai is going to be barking for that ball, saying yip, yip, yip.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's last tackle or whenever.
It's such a good. I think it's a good thing to do because it keeps the defending team going. Oh, for fuck's sake, really? Like you're coming down here on the fourth.
Yeah.
So
Well, there's just no predictability to it. You can't
it's
Yeah.
not structure. It's just eyes up, sort of.
eyes up and then they all just get on the board or play off the back of it. No one kind of stops playing.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Our tips were wrong
Yeah.
in this next game.
So, Broncos Warriors. We were both very keen on the Warriors.
Yes.
I think more out of hope than anything.
I think so too. I think it was just that everyone's second favourite team sort of fever, and we were heavily into it, bandwagoning as you should. Go the Warriors.
And it didn't plan out that way.
They're going to be a good team.
42-12.
They're going to be a good team for a while, but leading forward, man. Just the hot boys of the Broncos doing hot boy things.
I think if they play this game again, I think it could be a different, maybe not a different result, but it'd be a lot closer. I don't think 42-12 reflects how close, especially that first half of the game.
That first half was amazing. Just back and forth football.
So, like, the score blew out at the end, but I think the Warriors kind of stopped playing with 20 to go. Since after the Broncos scored that try with the 5-minute forward pass. But
I think we should touch on that. People online, I've been reading a lot of things online, Will, and a lot of people are going, but this wouldn't have changed the result of the game. It would have been 36-10 or whatever it was at the time. It's not the point. I think this year's refereeing has arguably been some of the... I'm not going to say worst, because it would be one of the hardest jobs out there. You've got 26 people to worry about on one field at any given time. But the inconsistencies have been unreal. Like in that forward pass, you can't blame the touch. Look, I'm going to defend the touch here a bit. It's Reece Walsh running at full speed. He probably was nowhere even in line. Yes, it was forward. We all saw it, but this is an NRL problem. They need to figure out. They need to be able to call back.
But there's also another two referees on the field.
Yeah, and they were both
had decent views of it.
good views. And I'm like,
So
this poor touchy, you can see he's 6 metres behind where the line break is because he cannot keep up at the pace of Reece Walsh.
I know they have their systems, and normally it would be that touchy on the near side that would make that call.
Yeah.
But if he's not in a position and you're a referee on the other side of the field, but you can clearly see that,
Call it.
just call it. Get the right decision.
And again, fans won't be they won't be as upset because at least the call was made with confidence. So like the New South Wales Cup, man.
And why can't the bunker get involved? With something like that.
This frustrates me.
If you just watch it live, surely, like, it doesn't have to go for a whole review or anything, but the bunker throughout the whole game is constantly talking to the ref, picking up decisions that he's missed. Why can't he just say, "Hey mate, you missed that one. That's forward." Call it up before the try's even scored.
Yep. Or they need to like it's not. Look, I don't think it's not hard. I think it is hard. Don't put a chip in the ball because that's just stupid. Because you can pass the ball out the back of the hands and it can float forward and still be considered backwards or flat.
Well, that's what the chip in the ball
is
trying to do. Is trying to get just that out of the hands. However many degrees it is.
I've got an idea. It's not world breaking. You know how everything is based on angle of where the camera is?
Mm.
So if the camera's like that, on the angle towards the other way, of course the ball's going to look forward.
Yeah.
Can we not... You know how there's like spider cam?
Mm.
You know, is it cricket?
Yeah.
Where it zings down? Can they not just have a sideline cam going directly with the play of the ball? Someone is just controlling it back and forth. Because then you've got direct, straight from the play of the ball. It's probably easier said than done. There's probably other angles that could come into play here, or even just draw a line.
Yeah, but then you have the same issue. If player makes a break, the camera can't.
And the camera can't keep. That's would be the issue. Can't you just draw a line from when the point of the ball is passed, and then frame by frame see where that line is leading?
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
Like ball tracking.
Yeah.
How they've got for cricket.
It seems simple, but obviously it isn't because they would have already had this in place.
I guess then you need more cameras every 5 meters along the.
So. I know. Just the inconsistencies of refereeing this year has been really tough, and every team has suffered. I don't want to hear Penrith get all the calls or Parramatta get all the calls at Bankwest. Like every team has suffered from a call this year. So don't be saying Penrith and Broncos have gotten all the good calls because they're first and second. It's just every team has suffered at some point.
They have. I think there's certainly teams that have benefited more though.
Oh, big time! Every year there will be, but it's just.
But it's just the inconsistencies that piss people off. I think
because I can't remember a year like this where every week there was a headline.
I think people understand. People are pretty accepting that decisions aren't going to be 100% right every single time.
Of course.
But when they're decisions that change from week to week.
Yeah, depending on what the game is. Like Origin, they let go of all these little niggly... And it's like, alright boys, you can wrestle, you can be rough, you can pull hair, you can... But week by week, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Well, why?
Yeah.
Right.
And one thing that annoys me actually with the captain's challenge, they seem to always...
Looking up at the camera.
They always go with the ref's call. They have too much influence, I think.
Yeah.
It's like, especially with those ones that are stripped.
Yeah.
I get they're hard to tell, but...
Those ones are funny, but because if you've played... You don't even have to play tackle footy. If you know when someone's going at the ball, even if it doesn't look like that. Because people are good at disguising it now. Yeah. Just sticking your wrist in, pretending like you're trying to wrap his arm. Or,
as long as there's no stripping motion.
Stripping motion.
So as long as you don't go and grab the ball and rip it out like that.
You're sweet. Well, that's why you see players now, they're not even going in with the hand, they're just going in with the forearm or something.
And as they're trying to leave the tackle, they just bump it out with their forearm.
Or the old cheeky knee as they're getting up. Yeah. And it's loose carry. Like, it's not... Old mate's got the ball like this, about to play it, and you've gone,
Yeah.
With the slightest little touch of your leg. I don't know.
And then the new interpretation with the ball plant.
Oh, that one... I like that one.
I get it.
But
at times it doesn't make sense.
They'll figure
like when
it out.
a player's trying to get a quick play the ball, they ball plant, they're trying to stand up, and then they get knocked over by the markers or something, and it's called a loose carry because they've planted the ball.
Yep.
They're just trying to get a quick play the ball. They have no right as a defender to knock that player over them.
Yeah, and it just slows the ruck down too, in general. Because I like that rule. If it's a good run, you've got the right to play the ball as quick as possible.
Absolutely.
Or if it's a good tackle, then you also have the right to not lay on them, but slow it down a touch.
Yeah.
You know?
I think, going back to the game, Broncos Warriors, I think it was offloads that killed him. Just Payne, Haas, Carrigan, Flegler through the middle. I think that's...
What was the stat? 13 in the first half?
Yeah, plenty. I think they finished with like over 20.
That's crazy.
It was... And I don't think they'll have the same luxury, Brisbane, this week against Penrith. I think they'll wrap the ball up a bit better.
Well, Penrith are very good at slowing down the ruck.
Yeah.
And I say this, and everyone will go, oh, but they don't get penalised. But, bro, they do it to perfection.
Yeah.
2.5 seconds, boom, they're off.
Yeah.
They let go.
But if they could have stopped the offloads Warriors, I think they're well in the chance of winning that game. I think that's what killed him. It's the offloads and then Reece Walsh off the back of it just carving them up.
He's just so quick off that first, second step. Boom, boom.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah.
See ya. He's a Bronco. He's dead to the Bronco. Dude, he's gone.
So, and it tired the defence out of the Warriors. Like, instead of making 5 tackles a set, they're making 8 because of all the offloads.
Yeah, true. That's very true. And then someone's always called out, which leads the outside backs to have that quicker first step on your inside man.
Got to have that scramble. So, yeah.
Shall we talk about the final?
Let's get onto it, eh? I'm excited.
Before you say anything, top of your head, who you tipping? With no description. I'm going Broncos.
Panthers.
My heart says Panthers.
I think Panthers will win. I hope they don't. Sorry, Panthers fans, but you've won 2 in a row. Fuck yous all.
No, I love you, Panthers.
Go the Broncos.
I'm a big fan.
But I don't think Panthers will lose.
Yep.
Just because it's their third... Well, they're going for their 3rd grand final win. It's their 4th grand final in a row. They know what to expect. They're ready for it. You know you're going to get their best. I'm worried that Brisbane will show up for the first 20 minutes and it's just going to be high emotion and it's just going to... It's not going to be able to last 80 minutes. They're not going to be able to pace themselves through the game.
Yeah. And Penrith are professionals.
Yeah, I
100%.
think...
I agree. But I also think just the Broncos have them X factor players at the moment. Like, just Walsh, really. Like, in the sense, like, throws the ball out, doesn't give a fuck. He's got that Jimmy Maloney kill factor in him. He doesn't care if he throws an intercept. Oh well, next play, move on.
I think they've got the team to do it. Like, if Broncos play their best and Panthers play at their best, it's going to be one of the best grand finals, I think, of all time.
Modern history, easily. Bro, think of it. You think of Cowboys, Broncos, you think Sharks, Storm. This could be another one.
They're quite similarly positioned, I suppose, in their teams. Like, they've got that young X Factor kind of player, Reece Walsh. Penrith have got that with a few of theirs, your Luais and...
Just the whole back line, really.
Everyone.
What do you think about it?
But then they've got that experience. You've got Isaiah Yeo for Penrith. You've got Adam Reynolds for Broncos. And they're just...
I have something that I want to happen, and this is a bit spiteful towards a fan base. If Adam Reynolds wins a comp with the Broncos, where does this rank him as, like, just a player as a whole? Because, man, he came to Broncos and, like, yes, they had the players, but they were also still very, very young when he first hit the scene.
Him and Kevin Walters has just turned the side around.
It's amazing to see they've gone from, what were they, 15th?
I still can't understand how South let him go.
I understand they're looking towards the future, but he's still got 2 or 3 great years.
Well, he's in career best form.
Yeah,
I would say.
As we said, the norm is getting older. For halfbacks, especially.
Yeah.
Look, hey Reynolds, come to the Sharks. We'll take you. We'll give you Moylan. We'll take you.
Why would he do that? He's not an idiot.
Look, look, Eels.
No.
So
Moses will win us a comp next year.
If he didn't get injured, I'd like to see how he. Obviously, you're out of the finals, but I would have loved to see those last 4 weeks, to see how he would have finished.
Yeah.
Because he got injured,
Yeah. He was out the last 2 or 3 games, I think.
I just would have liked to see how he would have finished with that side.
Well, it's like we beat Penrith the last round without Moses.
And it was just touch footy.
I know they didn't have Dylan Edwards, but,
Yeah, but their junior system is fucking ridiculously good, so...
Yeah. All right, so you're tipping Brisbane, are you?
I'm going to go Brisbane. Because, look, all the Panthers fans know I'm a big fan of the fucking Panthers and how they develop their talent, but I just want to go to the Broncos. No real reason. I just want to go to the Broncos.
Yeah, I think Panthers will win. I think Brisbane... I think whoever wins, it's going to be in the forward pack. I'm excited for that battle. See Payne Haas, Carrigan, Flegler up against Isaiah Yeo...
Fish
Fisher Harris,
Oh, man.
Leota,
And
Leniu.
even Leniu. Oh, bro, can I give a quick shout out to that man? He runs with so much passion. Like, I can't even explain it. The way he runs, reckless abandon. Like, he just wants it more than I've ever seen any forward recently want to run that. Like, he's a psychopath in a good way.
Well, I'm just thinking back to last year's grand final and how the forwards for Penrith started.
Yeah.
They just lifted to a level that they've never gone before. So they're going to be ready to go and they're going to be at that level.
Is it going to be one of these things where whoever wins the coin toss that first set is going to be fucking fireworks?
Because obviously as a Paris supporter, I watched last year's grand final very closely and
they killed you.
It was just the forwards. They just completely dominated. I don't think we got an opportunity in their half for probably the first 60 minutes of the game.
They're very suffocating.
We had one opportunity, I think, early on where it might have been on tackle 3. They put on in a little grubber trick play. It didn't pay off. And since that moment, like that would have been within the first 10 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
And from that, I don't think we played the ball in their half.
That would have been just test the waters, eh? You know, see what you would have done.
It was just dominant. Like we could not get out of our probably 40-metre line. It was just the line speed was there. It was just they just suffocated us. So,
bro, you're actually really right. They because I watched it with my dad. My dad's a big Parramatta fan, so is my mum. Although she won't admit it. Nah, she's an Eastern Suburbs fan, and hey, she's got a point. Rightfully so. The Tigers gobbled them up. That's what she says. Because they've just got this little thing on the side there, right? And even Dad looked at me and he said, their forwards are just... They're not even killing us on offense. They're killing us on defense.
Yeah.
They're just... Like, my dad wasn't even sad. He was sort of just like, what can you do?
Yeah.
You can't even be upset. They're not doing anything grubby.
Yeah.
They're not winning by a penalty count. They're just dominating the ruck. It's just ruck speed and it's crazy, man, to be honest. It's crazy.
If Brisbane can find a way to get the offloads away, I think that's their way of winning.
Yeah.
Because Panthers, I heard a stat somewhere, they concede more tries than any other team off the back of offloads.
Yeah. Structure, I guess. They're so structured.
They're so structured, so if you have that unstructured play against them, they don't have any systems to fall back on.
I'm putting my tin hat on.
But I just don't think they can. I don't think...
As in you think Penrith...
I don't think Panthers' defence will let Brisbane get those offloads.
Like they'll be on the ball as soon as it hits contact.
They're going to be training all week for it. I can't see any other way Brisbane winning.
Like in a battle. Like
in a battle.
If
it just gets into that grind of set for set, I think Penrith run over the top of them.
I think you're right. I think you're really right. If they can, even if it's just one offload a set to start the game, to lead into that fatigue period late in the game, because I'm putting my tinfoil hat on. Do you think Broncos purposely offloaded a lot? Like there were some offloads last week that they didn't need to throw, but it was just out the back, quick, throw it to anyone who was there. Do you think that was in preparation to? Because Warriors and Panthers have a similar size of pack. I'm not saying skill, but the size of their packs are quite similar. Big, wide, quick running, step at the line sort of forwards.
I think it was to tire out the Warriors forward. I think there was definitely a game plan to offload more, get Fanua Blake
tired.
Get him off the field so he's not on the field for 65 minutes like he has been some games. Because obviously they're a better team when he's on the field. So, if he can only play 55 minutes...
Yeah, true. And not at full potential, you'll take that any day of the week.
Alright, so you've gone Broncos. Who are you thinking for your Clive Churchill?
So, I've gone, one for each team. Just to give the punter, a play. If you're a fan of the Broncos, you can pick the Broncos player. If you're a fan of the Panthers players, you can pick the Panther player. Or... you can just tell me to get fucked and you'll pick who you want, which I also agree with, So I've got them here. And I've got the odds too. I've gone for the Broncos.
Are you going into your best bets?
This isn't best bet, but this is like a Clive Churchill bet, if you want to add it to your... I think if the Broncos are any chance of winning, there are 3 players that are going to really have to step up. Or not even step up, so to speak, but, just own the moment. There's going to be a moment in this game, and I think this man could do it. Similar to Fafita, I think Payne Haas could have an historic grand final try. Just effort, grit, and just carrying blokes. I don't think it might not happen, but if he was to score, I don't think he's just going to scoot through the line without being touched. I think he's going to be blokes hanging off him. So I've gone Payne Haas at $12 for the Broncos.
I like it.
And then I love this man, and it's been well documented on the first 2 episodes, Critter. But this is a wild one. This is $36.
You don't often see a centre getting it though, do you?
No, but he's not just your average centre, man.
Yeah.
He's he's taken intercepts in grand finals. He's scored game-winning tries in grand finals. He's now been to 3. This is 4th.
I'll tell you what, his defence last week as well. Defensively, I didn't realise how good of a defensive centre he is.
I've been trying to tell my friends this for a while. He's my favourite defensive centre.
Yeah.
Probably ever. The way he just shuts down a play is crazy.
Yeah, no. I always knew he had the talent in attack, but last week his reads were just perfect every time.
He'd get half beat and he'd still somehow make the tackle in a dominant way.
Yeah.
Like, crazy. Who are your Clive Churchill winners, mate? Have you got one from each team, or have you just gone...
I can give you a couple.
Alright, give us one.
Cleary, 325, I think. Safe. I think he's going to be the standout. Adam Reynolds for Brisbane, $8.
That one is a bit meaty when you really...
I do like Payne Haas. I think if Brisbane win, Payne Haas at $11. I think if you like Brisbane, I reckon Payne Haas $11 is the way to go.
Yep.
But one I really like.
Here we go.
We've talked about it being a battle for the forwards, right?
Here we go.
Now, I think Penrith will win. And this is my best bet, by the way. James Fisher-Harris. Now, he's one of the best forwards in the competition. We've just talked about how he just dominated last year's grand final. If we think Penrith are going to win, and it's going to be a forward battle, he's going to be one of the best players on the field, you would think.
I agree.
He's paying $23.
Holy, have a lick, boys.
So
that's a lick.
Now, we're none from 2 with our tips, with our bets. But this could be the one. $23. Jump on.
Throw a tenner on it. You're paid for your whole weekend, boys.
That's it.
Remember, if you're going to gamble, do it responsibly. You win some, but you lose more.
That's right. As we're discovering.
We are fucking armchair experts.
I'll tell you what, though.
If you know what that means, you know what that means.
Crichton let us down big time last week.
He did, but he didn't. He didn't get much ball in the attack, I will say, which I was sad about. And when he did get the ball, he was, drawing in and passing to his outside men or inside men. So, I can't hate him too much. I love him.
So what's your best bet?
Don't worry about the Bulldogs. Come to the Sharks.
That's another thing with him as well. It's his last game for Penrith, so he's going to be fired up.
Well, that's my reasoning. Yeah. And he's had a big moment in every grand final win or loss. The loss against Melbourne, he's doing things. Intercept against Cody Walker that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Came out of nowhere. Roberts was steaming. And then he just, see ya, I'm out.
And he'll be on the left-hand side, I think.
Yeah.
Well, that's where he was last week, so Panthers, they seem to score more down their left.
They do. And I think if he can secure, let's just say 2 tries and just his normal work rate, I think, unless Cleary has a fucking blinder, 4 force dropouts, 20 tackles, 1 miss, sort of 1 try, 3 try assists.
Which he's very capable of doing.
Which is a week by week thing for Cleary, really. Like, his short kicking game is ridiculous. I think he could win it. My best bet of the week, I've gone a 3-legger.
Okay.
Obviously all in the NRL this week because, grand final.
Yeah.
I've gone my best friend, Brian Toto, love that man, to score any time. I've gone Critter to score any time, being his last game, as we just spoke. And I've gone Katoni Staggs. I think Katoni's been relatively quiet. But I think a game like this can go one of two ways for him. He can just excel, or he'll just still stay at a good pace, but he won't be that dominant, risky, putting blokes on their ass. But I reckon he could get an early try, say the first try of the game. That's all he needs to just be flared up for the whole 80.
Yeah.
They might not win, but if you've got a flared up Katoni on that edge, woo-wee! So that's my best bet. I've gone Toto anytime, Critter anytime, and Katoni Staggs anytime. That's going to pay you. That's odds of $14.25 on Sportsbet. Power play, that gives you close to $16. So yeah, that's my best bet. I think that could hit.
What about your first try scorer?
First. Look, I won't name his full name.
We all love a cheeky first try scorer bit.
I think I've told you about this man and his first try scoring record. Mr. Zach. Zach is fucking ridiculous.
You can pick him.
At picking first try scorers to the point where we have a boys inbox. And I feel bad for him in a sense, but all the boys now going, "Hey Zach, what's your first bet?" And he's going, "Bit of pressure, boys." Because he's one of those cheeky bastards that does his best work about 6 minutes from kickoff. He'll got
to feel it.
He'll send us the slip, and he'll give everyone time to get on if you're in the inbox.
Yeah.
And then you'll just see the reactions. His best one ever was Felice Kafusi in Origin. I think it was paying it was upwards of 30.
Yeah.
And he had a 50 on it, dude. Or it was something stupid. And I just remember the whole inbox was blowing up. So, I'm going to think like Zach. Zach's a very big boy thinker. He likes his big boys. I think Jordan Ricky.
Ooh.
Ricky.
I don't mind that.
Slick Rick. I don't know what he's paying. I can check. But it would be wild.
Who would he be running at? Cleary or...
He's on the
worst side.
He's on the worst side.
Ooh.
And he's very... He's very energy... high energy player. He's on. He'll run.
He runs good lines.
Let me just check that.
I don't mind that at all, actually.
I'm just thinking like Zach.
I can see it.
In my heart of hearts, I'm going Toto. I think Toto's, obviously, he's one of my favourites. He's safe as, but I'm thinking like Zach here. Shout out to Zach. We maybe should message Zach. See if he wants to get on this week and just say Zach's best first try scorers. One each. We'll give him one each. A Panther and a Bronco, because he just, I'd say out of, let's just say 20 bets, not even taking the piss, I reckon he's got about 9 or 10. I swear to you, proper, he's a freak. So we've got, oh shit, he is, oh my god, he is $23 to score first. $23. Your shortest odd is Toto.
I like Toto. I think Brisbane last week, it was Dallin scored a few tries
early.
So I like Toto, but
I'm going to go Ricky. I'm thinking like Zach. This is for Zach. Who are you going if you had the chance? Who would you pick first? Toto?
Yeah. I know it's a safe option.
But $8 isn't really safe. That's good money.
It is.
So, hey, bet if you want, but I wouldn't, because I'm no fucking expert.
Put that in with Fisher Harris as your Clive Churchill.
Jesus Christ, you fucking...
Panthers 13 plus.
You're not working for the next 4 weeks, so you'll take that.
Thank me later.
Thank you later. Buy him some Monopoly as a thank you.
Now, Dally M's on tonight. So, for context, by the time you're listening to this, you'll probably already know the Dally M team and how fucking wrong we are. But
we're gonna go through the teams.
Let's go through the teams, because we both picked our teams. You can actually check it on our Instagram. We've put them both up.
Yep.
And let's, because there's a few differences in there.
We'll go through yours first. I won't say a word. I'll let you name them, and then we'll chat.
So, I've gone...
Will's got his just lined up here.
fullback, Kalen Ponga. I think the way he's finished the season, he's played, the last 9, he got 9 wins in a row. I think he's pretty much getting all Dally M points for all those games.
Yep.
I don't think there's too many people from Newcastle taking points off him.
I have a rebuttal for that later on, but I'll bring it up, once you get through the team.
Isako on the wing.
Yep, shooting.
Top point scorer.
At the Dolphins too.
Top try scorer. He's just grown an extra leg this year under Wayne Bennett. He really has.
You can really tell coaching.
His agility, just those one-on-one situations, he just doesn't miss.
Freak.
So,
Proper freak.
the other winger, Dallin, DWZ. Yeah.
Again.
What more can you say? He was just incredible.
Just a great finisher, man.
Most tries in Warriors history in a year.
Yeah, 24, I believe.
So
crazy.
And some of his finishes are just incredible.
It's like he does them for a piss take.
Yeah.
I swear he could just go, but he's like, no, backflip.
Honourable mention to Dom Young. He was close, but I just couldn't put him in front.
I feel like
of
the
those two.
start may have just hindered his...
Toto as well, but I don't know. I just couldn't find a spot for him. In the centres, Stephen Crichton.
Yep.
I think we've spoken about him already.
He'll win Dally M
he's
centre.
great. Now the other one, I've gone Dane Gagai.
Best defensive year ever.
He was really good. His tackle breaking ability.
Yeah.
He was just, I think he averaged just about over 10 tackle breaks a game or something like that. It was ridiculous.
Yep.
He was close to 200 running metres every game. Just doing all the hard work.
It's like those young boys are firing him up on the outside, eh? They're really, pushing him. Like.
And then his passing, he just iced all those 2-on-1 opportunities. He rarely missed one. Knew when to run, knew when to pass. So
Yep, I agree.
He's in my centres. Now...
Give us your halves.
Halves. Cameron Munster. I wasn't sure on him. I didn't think he had the best year. But there weren't two other many 5'8" that really put their hand up. Ezra Mann, he was around.
A lot of injuries for poor Ezra too.
Yeah. Dylan Brown had a decent year, but he's missed a lot of the season for...
A few dancing, bit of the floor action.
So he's kind of there just because no one else really impressed me. So Munster's there. Sean Johnson, I think he'll win the Dally M.
Dally M, not easily, but surely.
Yeah, I think...
Fuck no.
I mean, Ponga's the only one that
if he doesn't
rivals him, I think.
Do you not think it's sort of a blowout?
I think so.
Like, yeah, Kalen had a great 10 weeks, bro. I cannot discredit that, but Sean Johnson didn't miss ever.
Yeah.
Not one round this year.
Yeah,
like,
I think...
He's so good.
The only thing with Sean Johnson...
So good.
...is possibly, and this goes into my next pick, Adam Fanua-Blake. I think he might take a few points off him.
That's true. That's very true.
But I still think Sean Johnson gets there comfortably.
But I sort of feel like the media has a big vote in this, in the sense that Sean Johnson has just been pumped in the media in a good way. Like they've just put him on this pedestal, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's really whoever the commentators are talking about gets the most points.
Because I don't know how. Do you know how it works, the voting?
Yeah. So the judge, I think they changed it this year. So it used to be 3-2-1. Now it's like 6-4-2 or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Change it to put more weighting basically on whoever the best player is in their match. So
there's been a lot of controversy in the. I don't know if you follow AFL, but brother, there's been some controversy in their Brownlow.
Yeah.
Like just certain rounds of certain people not getting votes, and they had blinders.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Just I hope we don't have the same issue. I hope it's sort of black and white, clear cut.
Yeah.
So that'll be the best thing for the game.
So my other forward, no surprise, is Payne Haas. It's just I think they both pick themselves. Don't really need to expand too much on that.
Yeah, true.
Harry Grant is my hooker.
Yep.
Had a decent year. Probably quite a few games, but had a few really good games. I think he'll... Wade Egan was the other one that I was tossing up between.
His passing
He had a
was
really
great.
good year. But again, I think just Sean Johnson's taking points off him. Fanua-Blake, I don't see...
Yeah, and Wade Egan does nothing against Wade Egan because I'm a big fan of his work, but he just doesn't have that name.
Yeah, and he missed a few games with concussion and injury, so...
He's a tough bastard, eh?
But I really like him. I thought he had a great year.
Yeah, so. Awesome year. If the Warriors can keep him for a long time, that'll be good, you know?
Yeah. Now my second rowers, David Fafita and Britton Okora. Both solid, run good lines. I think David Fafita was quiet-ish, but when you actually go through and have a look at his stats, it was probably one of his, I would say, his best year.
Well, I was shocked when you had him in the team, and then you said, no, go look at his stats.
Well, he's just his tackle breaks. Probably didn't have quite the try scoring form that he had a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But defensively, he was really good. And his running meters, tackle breaks, offloads, all them were pretty much career highs. So
yeah, he's a. Sure, I hope he continues to develop his game because he could be anything. He could seriously be anything if he really wants to be.
He could be that Sonny Bill Williams
of this,
of this generation.
Yeah, this time period just.
Hopefully, because there's so much potential there. I'd love to see him at his absolute peak.
His body type is ridiculous. His body type is ridiculous.
And his speed. How quick is he for an edge back rower?
If you're in the centres and you're not,
like, how many times have you seen him making breaks and he just doesn't get run down? Like, it's insane.
He's good. He's good.
My lock, I've gone Jermaine Hopgood. I think he's had a great year. Isaiah Yeo, Carrigan, I thought about, but I don't know. I just thought Hopgood, his offloading ability, and just for his first full season at first grade, he was just outstanding.
If that's what we're going to get, he's going to be good long, when he plays the full 24 games or whatever he can push out in the season.
And I've gone Coach of the Year, Andrew Webster.
Yeah, fuck it.
So,
I heard they just...
I know there's a lot of talk about Cleary winning the minor premiership, but how much of that is due to his coaching? I'm sure a lot of it.
Yeah.
But how much of that is due to the team itself?
Oh, yeah.
So, for Coach of the Year, I think from where the Warriors were at last year without Webster and where they are, where he's taken them, I think a lot of that you've got to put down to the coaching.
Yeah.
So,
I think he's the first coach since a long time that has wanted to coach they get the job, they go there, they try, they leave. Whereas he's like, mate, I'm setting up base here.
Yeah.
I'm buying a house. I'm opening up my own bank account. I'm here.
And from Australia as well. You get your Stephen Kearneys and the likes.
Yep.
But
exactly my point.
Yeah, like you had Todd Payton a couple of years ago, but as soon as he got an offer from North Queensland,
he
was out. So
which is fair enough, whatever. But
Ivan Cleary, he was over there for a bit, and then
Webster's
went back to Australia.
Boys,
no one wants to stay there, but he seems
I ain't leaving.
Pretty keen. So.
We're on for the next 5 years at least.
If he can build something there with the Warriors,
that'd
that'd be great. Great for rugby league. Great for New Zealand rugby league.
Just as a whole, but knowing that coach is going to be there 3 years from now is a huge confidence boost for Warriors fans, Warriors players, anyone around the Warriors as a whole.
Yeah.
Because that would be the hardest thing, man. I feel like the Warriors have always been unlucky in that sense. They'll get a big name coach head over. Oh, I have to leave because, I got a job elsewhere.
Mm.
This or that. There's always something going wrong with their coaching position. Whereas he's like, I want a contract extension today. Give it to me and I'll sign it, sort of.
And then my rookie of the year, haven't got that in the post, but
bit of a toss-up.
I've gone Preston.
Jacob
Preston from the Bulldogs.
He's a battler.
I know there hasn't been much good going on at the Bulldogs. Nothing really good to say about him, to be honest. But he's been a good thing. Sorry, Bulldogs fans.
Sorry to
I know you,
Megan, who's probably listening to this. We love you, but your Bulldogs just seem to go back and back and back.
Yeah.
But keep that man, please.
He was probably the only positive I can take out of the Bulldogs.
Week in, week out, he was just hard nosed.
So
it's funny.
Something for Bulldogs fans to get happy about.
This is probably the best way to explain Preston. He is a veteran in a rookie's body. He just plays hard from minute one.
Well, he won their Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year,
everything. Yeah, I saw.
He won all their awards. So
rightfully so.
Yeah.
Like, no offense to any of the players, but
if they can keep him and start building a team around him.
We're talking on another pod, but I want to talk about the Bulldogs in depth for one day before this, even in pre-season, because they disappointed me with what they could have done this year.
All right, what about yourself?
My team. I'm not going to talk much about per player, but this first player I want to talk about. Clint Gutherson is my fullback.
Mm.
And people probably listening go, what the fuck?
I'm thinking that too.
Reason being, all that shit with like him, the apparent fans wanting him out, which I don't think was true, but it was the board wanting him out for, youth and, and the next guy. Clint Gutherson keeps Parramatta in games that they should be getting killed in. Reason being, he is guaranteed to save one try, I swear to you, a game.
Mm.
Every time I watch a Parramatta game, I see Clint Gutherson under a ball in the in-goal going, nah.
He's the best defensive fullback in the game.
He's just overall solid. He's not much of a running game, but he'll get you places.
Yeah.
Great passing, great IQ, and he's always getting penalties at the right time for the club, like the team. They're getting smashed in the centres. He'll dart out, catch the marker offside, 6 again.
I just don't know how you put him above Ponga.
Statistically, look, it should be either Ponga or Walsh, but just that try-saving ability wins it for me. I don't know, I watch many Eels games just with my dad, and even my dad would say, if we didn't have him this year, it would be fucking disgusting.
Yeah, he's Parramatta's best player.
It would be disgusting to watch.
To say he's the best fullback, I'm
going to say he's my best. Like, he's not he's my best fullback. Like, I had a good time watching him this year. Yeah. He would just save so many tries. In the wingers, I've gone Toto and DWZ. Not much to say. Just good solid players.
So no Zarko?
No, and the reason being is because they finished so low on the table.
Fair.
And I could say that about the Eels, but just Gutho for me is so solid defensively and just as a whole. I wish you would stop whinging a bit, but I love you, but stop whinging to the ref. You win some of the calls and you're sucking. In the centres, I've obviously gone Critter. And this is a bit of a dark horse. I don't think he had the best year, but I think in 2-3 seasons from now, he's going to be a premier centre. Like, proper matching up against him would be a nightmare. Tomoko. So he's just electric. When he's on, it's like watching... I want to see him and Tungo just week in, week out play each other. Just...
When you first said that, I was...
What the hell?
Yeah, I'm like, what is this guy on?
Yeah, no,
But I had a look at his stats, and they're not bad. Look, I wouldn't have him as my centre, but...
Like, he's still...
They were decent, he's tackle breaking.
Yeah, like, Talako's still good, better stats.
Quite similar to Gagai, I think, how he sees them.
Similar play styles in that explosive running, quick bursts. In the halves, I've gone Munster and Sean Johnson. Sean Johnson is also my Dally M. We've already spoken on that. In the forwards, I've gone Fanua Blake. I've gone Payne Haas. I mean... for like, they're both amazing. In my hooker, I am very critical of this player, but I didn't realise how good of a year he had in as a whole. I've gone Blakey Brayley, and a lot of people can protest my friends. I was very harsh on him. I thought, why? But I think the Sharks saw this coming, and if this is what we're getting next year and better, fuck, I'm excited for his defensive ability.
I don't get you on this one. I'm going to have to...
I couldn't go Grant, bro. I don't know. Just from previous years of Grant to this year, it just wasn't...
I would have him about the 6th best hooker. Like
name the 5.
You've got Grant.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I'll agree and disagree. I agree.
Wade Egan.
I agree.
You'd have...
Got ya. See?
Probably Cook.
I disagree. Heavily.
Yeah.
Yep. This year only,
yeah. I still think he was better than Brayley.
Okay. I'll be honest. Yep.
Billy Walters.
I agree with that one. That was one I agree with. He's good. He's fucking super solid. So solid. I'm surprised you haven't said one. I've only got one more I agree with.
Mitch Kenny.
I disagree.
I thought he's been really good. Coruscant as well, I think.
Coruscant's the one that I was going to pick, but because Tigers, it's just hard to... Look, Coruscant was my hooker of the year but I was just super impressed from where Brayley was to last year to where Brayley finished this year. He was like, let's just say, if we're going off numbers, he was a 6 out of 10 last year. For me, he's gone up to like 8, which is...
Oh, he's gotten better, but it's not the most improved award. It's the player of the
but
year.
I think he was my player of the year in that spot. look, it's Coruscant. In my opinion, it's Coruscant, but fuck, poor Coruscant. He's the only thing in that forward pack that was dominant this year for the poor Tigers. And then he was playing halfback, he was kicking goals, he was field goaling, he was running the sandwiches out at half time. He was fucking doing everything, bro.
He's probably coaching half the team too.
So you only named 4 other hookers, so I got you. You didn't get the 5th one out.
Well, there's 4 other cookers that you should have named.
So in the back row, I've gone same with you for Feeder. I didn't rate it until I actually in depth looked at his stats, and I think arguably one of the best line running back rowers I've seen in a long time, probably since like Lewis. I've got him that high. Britt Nakora, fuck, he runs a line.
Yeah,
he runs a fucking line.
Yeah,
and I thought he might struggle. He went from Sean Johnson, running that line great, to Nico Hines, but it's like, it doesn't even faze him. He runs the same line, the same speed, puts a hospital ball, like, he'll get some hospital balls and score, and I'm like, you should be knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
They should have snapped you, and he'll just send it. Just send it. So, for me, his line running ability is fucking stupid. I would have had Liam Martin if he didn't get hurt for that, what was it, 7 week-ish period where he was just had that niggling calf and hamstring or whatever it was.
I was very tempted to put Liam Martin.
But it would have been Liam Martin as the second.
Mm.
And then Jermaine Hopgood. Take away the fact that he got dropped to the bench for 4 or 5 games.
Yeah,
I
don't get that. But
he was still fucking outstanding. He offloaded a bit too much, but you want to see that, because next year, once he hits those offloads, those second phase plays for Parramatta are just going to really open up and, yeah.
Well, I think Parramatta's always at their best when they're offloading.
Yeah.
Having that second phase play and just getting off the back of that.
Big time. So there's our team of the years.
What about your coach?
Coach Webster.
Rookie?
Rookie? I've gone... It was a toss-up between Taverna. I can never say it correctly. Sorry. And Buller.
Mm.
Like, I'm going Buller only because... Again, there was 2 bright sparks at the Tigers, and one of them was a veteran, and one of them was a rookie.
Yeah,
being him. Yes, he had a lot of inconsistent games, but he also had a lot of...
He started off outstanding.
Dude.
His probably first 5, 6, maybe 7 games.
Yeah.
He fell away a little bit towards the end, I think.
Do you think that's fatigue? And
I think so. Just the first year of first grade.
Being with those big boys who would just hit you at 68 minutes.
Just to be able to do it week in, week out.
Yeah.
But if he can have a good off-season and come back next year...
I think if he just puts on...
have that consistency.
Some size. He's on.
Yeah.
He's on, dude. Like, he runs the line hard for such a skinny fella.
Well, there's not much for Tigers fans. Like, this was their year.
This was meant to be the year.
They had Coruscant, they had Papali'i, they had Bateman, like 3 international players, like gun players. And they just shit the bed. Like,
quickly, before we move on, who do you think has a better season next year? Quick fire answer, Bulldogs or Tigers? Who do you think finishes higher?
Tigers.
Okay.
I think there's more potential in their team. Benji Marshall coaching, maybe he gets something out of him. I just can't see. Bulldogs have got Crichton coming, and they were shit this year.
They were so shit.
The centre's not going to fit, or he's going to play fullback.
I think we should talk about the Bulldogs next ep, to be honest, because their potential to disappointment was
do a bit of a review.
I love the Bulldogs too, man. I just like seeing them win. I love seeing the Bulldogs win, and just because we watch with.
Well, they've got one of the best fan bases in the game.
We watch with a friend, and she's the most passionate motherfucker.
Yeah.
And I'm like, imagine how many others of her there are watching at home, just like almost crying, like, what the fuck is this? Like, what is this?
Yeah.
And it gets to the point she'll blame, like, poor Bulldogs fans, you want to blame the ref, but at the end of the day, you can't blame the ref all the time.
Not when you're getting beaten by 60 points.
Yeah, fucking hell. Let's move on. Poor Bulldogs. I love you, Bulldogs fans. Hang in there.
You'll get there.
Surely next year's a fucking positive year.
Bulldogs Para Grand Final, eh?
Oh, for fuck's sake, imagine. That'd be a riot in fucking
tell you what, how
Church Street. Fucking hell.
Well, we're talking about the cricket. Let's go on to our question of the podcast here.
Yep.
So, being Grand Final week, I thought it's only fitting to have, I guess, a Grand Final relevant question here.
Yep.
Top 5 Grand Final moments. So not necessarily your top 5 games,
But
But your
your
moments that are vivid in your mind.
They've
that
sat
are
with
just,
you.
yeah.
Okay. You go with your 5.
So I've
So
gone
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
number 5. I've gone Sam Burgess, and that just first tackle of a grand final, breaking his cheekbone, and then just throughout the game, you just see it swelling up more and more, getting blacker and blacker. Like it's just, and he just kept going. Like
Who was it? Who was it that purposely hit him
James Graham
after the hit?
After the hit,
because they gave away another high one, hit him directly
Yeah.
on it again, and I'm like,
I know James Graham was the one that actually
tough
did it.
bastard.
It was just a head clash, like, and
he's a freak. He could. Oh,
and the whole storyline behind it, just South winning their first comp in however many years,
4 million years.
yeah.
The fans finally rejoicing. What's your number 4, mate?
Number 4, big Fui Moi Moi.
An absolute cult hero.
In that 2009 Grand Final, obviously I'm a Para fan. He was my favourite player. I just love watching him. He just gets ball, runs hard. There's no step to him. No passing game on him. He just fucking runs.
A movable fridge.
He's so good. And that 2009 season, a lot of talk about Jared Hayne, but he was a big part Fui in that run. And the whole, I guess, lead up to it as well, like just with that fairy tale run and the whole grand final week, like I remember so vividly.
As a kid,
nothing,
you would have been young.
Nothing I've seen from any other team has got to that. Obviously we didn't win, which was, they cheated and all that, but anyway.
Move on.
But yeah, no, that try that he scored, I think we were probably down by 12.
Was that when he just bumped off
and 13? He just ran through fucking 5 players, ran over the top of him. I think it was Chambers, Slater,
and Chambers is no slouch.
And I don't know whoever their wingers centre. He ran over about 5 or 6 players.
Vinna Varlet, was he still there?
He come later. And he was later.
2009. Oh yeah, true. 2009, bro.
But I just remember that, and I didn't go to the game because I was only young, but I remember just listening on TV and the sound of the crowd, like you just felt it through the TV.
When I was a Paris fan,
insane. And I think there was still like 20 minutes to go, so it was like with everything that happened,
there was
the lead up, you're like, here we go, the comeback's on, we'll get over him in the end. Obviously didn't pay out, I guess that's what happens when you.
Do you think he might be the most loved Parramatta fan, not in the sense of like his skill, but every time that motherfucker would touch the ball, you just hear the crowd rejoice, going, "Fooey!"
Well, the first few games that I'd been to, like as a fan, because I was only young, so I thought they were booing him. Because I used to go with my grandma, so I'd be like, "Why is everyone? He seems so nice. Why is everyone booing him?"
You don't understand what's going on.
But no, it was
cult hero, proper cult hero of that club.
I'd argue he's probably the top cult hero. Like, I don't know who you'd have above him, like in the NRL.
It's probably him and one other player, and we'll get it. I'll say it after you finish your last couple.
But anyway, that's enough on Fui.
Yeah, love you, Fui.
Shout out to Fui. He's still playing. He's still in England. 40, no, he's older than that. I think he's like 45, 46.
Jump on the show, Fui. Fucking hell.
Get on here.
I'd love that shit. Imagine that.
He's got a bit of a rough rig too. He'd fit in well.
He'd be the king of the rough rig. You know what? Keep going.
Number 3. Andrew Fafita, that try for Cronulla.
That try.
That I'm sure you'll have it a lot higher than 3 on your list. But I just remember watching that, and I'll tell you what makes all these moments really good, as Ray Warren commentating. Jeez, we've missed him.
Dude, he could. If you were blind and he was the only person you were listening to, you'd understand minute per second. Everything he said made sense.
Just any iconic moment, he just didn't miss.
He never missed.
Like, yeah, who we've got now? Matt Thompson, who fucking you can't bag him too much, but when you're following the best caller of all time, you're never gonna make people happy. You're always gonna be kind of.
Bro, is this correct in saying? Because the whole point of commentary is to help people vision impaired, whatever. If you're going blind, if you're vision impaired, listening to today's commentators. You would want to, you'd want to be fucking fully deaf. Because they don't even, nothing against, but some of these commentators don't even talk about the game anymore.
Yeah.
You know what was a breath of fresh air? Matty Johns last week. Did you listen to
Yeah.
it? He would go, example, Critter, in the dummy half, first receiver to Cleary to... If you're vision impaired or hearing impaired, you're going, oh shit, I can actually understand what's happening. I can pick up...
I guess that's more radio commentary though as well.
But I feel like if you're, you want to be able to...
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's something about Ray Warren that you just...
So good.
You just get that emotion. Like, if it's a big moment, you know it's a big moment. Whether you follow rugby league or not. Just
based on how he's speaking. Yeah.
And he never overplayed his hand. Like, he wouldn't
never
go for a big moment when, and I think that's the problem with today's commentators. They get up too early with just
it's like a basic
play. Yeah.
It's like a basic line break, and they're screaming at me. Like Mick Ennis is screaming at me. He's got my right there. Please don't scream me, Ennis. Please. Just screaming at me, dude.
Anyway, number 2, I've gone Benji Marshall.
The flicker, dude.
I think this is my first kind of vivid memory of anything to do with rugby league.
Yep.
And I don't know whether it was watching it live or just with the highlights, but yeah, can't go past it really.
It's 2023 and we're still talking about it, dude.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of being iconic, being remembered.
Yeah.
And that will forever be... It's in every second play now.
Yeah.
The back row skips outside, boom.
Well, you don't see anything that talks about the grand final. You watch all the old ones. It's always in there in the highlights package, and just a really special moment to pull, because you didn't see that back then. Like, it was just the first risky time. But number 1, I can't go past JT. His field goal
to win it.
Field goal to win it, and in addition to his sideline conversion, hitting the post, it's just putting it all together. It was something very, very special. And again, Ray Warren in his commentary, he's just
crazy.
So that's my 5. Who have you got?
Look, I'm actually going to piggyback off a few of yours. Like, a few of yours have just entered my head. I love that Fooey moment. You know, when you really think of it, this is back when the game was very, there wasn't stepping, and it was just, man to man. I actually remember it. He got an early ball from marker, and I swear he targeted someone. They missed.
I think he was like centre field.
Yeah.
And he just made a V line to the corner. He just took off.
Palming, hips, couldn't tackle him, and just barnstorming run. So I've got that at 5. Sam Burgess is a tough bastard, and I've actually got to put that in there now at number 4. Imagine breaking your fucking face, dude. He broke his fucking face in the first fucking hit up. Think of, no wonder he won that fucking show. What did he win recently?
SAS.
No wonder he won that SAS with ease. Like, he's got that warrior mentality that not many people could probably have nowadays. Benji. Again, we've spoken about it. That's going to be my number 3. He's created a whole generation of players that play like that.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
Your Reece Walshes, Valentine Holmes, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, Sean Johnson's. Like, he has created a whole generation of even local leagues. They're throwing flick passes for fun. Look at Zach Lomax. That's one of his go-to moves. When it comes off, it's one of the best flick passes in the game. He misses some, but when he hits those passes, it's on. Number 2, I've got to go to that. Just the Cowboys as a whole winning that year. I don't think he gets enough credit. Michael Morgan. He was a fucking player. And that run, he was, just of them coming back into form. He wasn't, Thurston getting all the headlines, but fuck, he was just making things happen for Thurston to play as free as possible.
When they made their grand final, I think it was 2017, it was all off the back of Morgan.
Him just going nuts.
It was when Thurston was out injured. I think another couple of players were out injured, and he
killed us in the semi-final that year.
Yeah.
Me and my friend went to watch it. Fuck, he was like Jesus Christ. He was untouchable.
And then he did the same thing against Parramatta the week after.
Pissed me off, how good it was in the sense. And number 1, I've just gone for feeder. I went to that game and I was sitting at that end, up, because I didn't pay no $200 for no tickets. I paid like $40. And I think he had Dale Finucane, back then, probably the premier forward in that, like this, back when it was just rough and tumble. He had a back row on him, I can't remember who, and just the fact that they could not physically get him down from like 12 metres out, and he was just charging, is... Bro, I looked at my friend at that moment and said, we've won this game. And he goes, bro, it's like, there's so long to go.
And just the way he kind of rolled the ball over, it's like...
He went for it. Yeah. Not many players would go for that.
And to hold on to it.
Dude, I remember looking at it, my friend Zach going, we've won this. And he goes, no, man, there's still fucking a whole half, plenty to go, whatever it was at the time period.
I think it was quite towards the end, wasn't it? It was 15,
we scored that random try off
the scrum.
Ben Barber said Gowan said to Ben Barber,
yeah,
get the fuck out of the way. And
I'll tell you what, that's one of the better grand final tries. Just that
wasn't
the
planned.
amount of work that would have went into that on training.
That wasn't planned.
Really?
With Barber, he had no idea. It's been spoken about on different podcasts, I think, and Gowan and Townsend were the only two that knew about it. Like, the sense that Gowan called out a word, apparently, as he was coming over to the scrum, and Chad went, go for it. And they fucking did. And Barber had no idea.
Yeah.
Barber was just support, like, I guess. He was there. Like, in the sense, he was there. So that one for me is number one, but it's very biased, I guess. But, hey, the emotion of that day was fucking the greatest day of my life, football-wise.
Yeah, well...
Can I add someone to our Rough Rigs starting 12 or starting 11?
Go for it.
Fui Moi Moi.
Oh, he's got to be there.
He's in.
Yeah.
Him
and Raheem in the prop.
And Raheem are my two players. They can be our openers. I don't give a fuck. So I'm adding Fui.
Not too many quick singles, I don't think.
No. We don't want quick singles. We want big hitters. So he's being added to our 12. And if you're okay with that, I think you will be.
I'm more than okay.
As soon as you said his name, I was like, you know what? He's in the Rough Rigs 12.
He deserves it.
Imagine him and Raheem walking out to bat.
Oh.
Like, imagine Fui Moi Moi and Raheem walking out to bat. What would you do as the opposition? You go, oh, for fuck's sake. This is going to go one or two ways. I think this score 70 off 10. Or they're going to be out in 2 balls. So...
You're getting me excited here.
Dude,
might need to turn off.
I think we have to make it. I think we have to make an edit. Start to make an edit of our top 12.
So it won't be every week, but only when someone deserves it.
And there will be a point where there's 12, and someone will get bumped out due to performances or someone else coming up.
You don't just get in the team willy nilly. You've got to earn it. So
I wanted to put Munster in last week, but I just thought Fui, he's 46, still playing footy, cold hero, love him.
Righto. We'll get on to a bit of cricket, I suppose.
Yeah, India's better than Australia, and that's the end of the podcast. Thank you. Nah, seriously.
So, cricket's been happening. Again, it doesn't mean a whole lot.
Nah, not
Probably
really.
a bit more than the last series against South Africa, just because it's in India, in those conditions that we'll be playing the World Cup against one of the World Cup favourites.
We should be
a little bit more full strength. We've got Steve Smith back. Cummins is back for a game that he got rested. That was really strange. But
yeah, chill. Thanks. Imagine we want that one random Indian kid that probably loves Cummins. You're like, oh, I get to watch Cummins today. Rested. Well, what the fuck?
Yeah, no. Those 7 overs took it out of him.
He obviously hasn't played fucking low B grade and fucking back to... No jokes. We should be beating India's D side.
Well, we should.
Don't call it a B or a C side. That's a fucking D side.
We should at least be competitive.
When David Warner's batting right-handed, smiling and hitting shots, that was
strange.
It's a cupcake game.
It's
they don't
just care. Like, why? Why are you playing?
You're just
going to take the piss.
As soon as I saw him do that, I'm like, oh, the Aussies don't care.
Yeah.
We actually do not care about this game or if we win or lose.
Is that a coaching thing? Have they gone in with the attitude and be like, hey, this game doesn't really matter, just have fun?
As much as I dislike Warner, I must admit, when he did that, I had a laugh. I was having a good laugh because he was hitting shots too. Yeah. He looked better than me and I'm right-handed.
well, he was playing better than he was when he was... But what? The way he got out. So he was right-handed, then he went for a switch hit to go left-handed.
To his regular.
Then hit it like a massive inside edge. Got given out LBW. had a chat to Inglis, and then didn't review it.
Have you?
That was the strangest bit of cricket. We said at the start of the episode that cricket's a strange game, but
Dude,
that just...
He knew he hit it too. I don't know if you watched it.
Yeah.
He knew he hit it.
It was
like he was happy. He's like, yeah, I'm alright. I've scored some runs.
I don't get it.
I feel like we're taking the
I
piss
don't
now.
understand.
I feel like after we got destroyed in the first one, we were just like, oh, it really means nothing.
Yeah.
And...
So I think the third one's in tonight, maybe.
But it's like...
But I don't know.
I want to see a bit of competitiveness, because it's like when they had Virat Kohli, when they had Rohit, when they had these boys...
Well, I think
like,
the 9th of October's when the World Cup starts, so it's like 2 weeks away.
You got to start taking a bit serious, I guess.
Got to have a little bit of form leading into the comp, but I don't know.
Yeah, concerning, I guess, in a sense. Like, India's, these boys who aren't in the squad or probably will not play the first 12 are trying their guts out to prove a point, and we're just taking the piss.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just a bit...
And there's people from
strange.
Australia playing for their positions. Like, you've got Inglis, who hasn't been impressive.
Sean
Abbot's been decent, but I don't think he's getting a spot over
No.
Cummins, Hazelwood,
Abominable.
Stark.
Too
They
good.
kind of pick themselves.
Yeah.
Green's been disappointing.
Yeah, I don't... Too much cricket.
Stoinis
Do you think it's too much cricket for Green?
I don't
Considering
know.
it's like his first genuine year of all-round cricket.
He just seems to be lacking confidence for mine.
I thought when he hit that 640 in the T20, that would have just put him on this mountain of like...
I still think he's struggling whether he thinks he belongs in the team or not. That's the way I see it. I don't know. He just...
Behind closed
he's
doors.
very... He just doesn't seem to be committing to anything. Like,
Yep.
yeah. But it'll be interesting to see in the World Cup, big games, how he goes. But
I hope because behind closed doors, they would be saying to him, mate, you're going to be here for the next 15 years if all goes well with injuries. And
I don't know if he gets in the team for the World Cup, to be honest.
That's what I mean.
We've got Marsh. He's a shoe-in, you would think.
I love that man. He's probably going to be the next one.
And then you got Maxwell coming back as well, so he'll be in the middle order. You got Steve Smith, Marnus, possibly.
I forgot Maxwell was a person. And that makes me a bit happy knowing that he's... Oh, not probably. He will be in the side now that Head's broken his hand. And because he could even open, like really. If you wanted to spice things up and throw off a team...
Well, I think that's his best position.
So do I. You need to get him in as early as possible.
And against... with the field up as well in the first 10 overs, I think he can... really do some damage.
I sort of feel bad for him because when he comes in at like 3, he's expected to hit 60 off 14. And I'm like, that's not fair because when he gets out for 10 and 12, the media is just straight onto him. And
well,
it's
he gets out playing a reverse sweep and then everyone...
And I'm like, poor bastard comes in when the run rate's at 14.
Yeah.
What do you want him to do?
Yeah.
Like, what do you want him to do? Hit singles and be content? No. Have you got anything else you want to bring up?
I actually do this week.
Alright.
Now... Hungry Jacks.
Oh.
Not a fan of them.
Well documented.
But geez, they have been disappointing to me lately.
So
now they've got their...
Why are you getting it if you are not a fan?
Well, they've got their biscoff shakes. So
biscoff.
I just wanted to try it.
See how it went.
Now, this is over the last 3 weeks. I still haven't got one. I've been over like 15 times to different Hungry Jacks. Not the same one.
15!
I want it. And
They
will not give me my biscoff shake. Either the machine's not working, or they let you pay for it, right? Then they send you to the waiting bay for a fucking shake.
Can I ask, are you just getting the shake?
I'm just getting the shake. So the amount of times I've gone to the drive-thru and I've asked them, do you have the shake? No. Okay, no worries. Fuck you. I'll drive off. Go to Macca's instead. But they'll say, yeah, we got it. No worries. I was like, cool. I'll pay for it. Oh, yeah, that'll just be a quick wait. Just wait in the waiting bay. There's no other cars around, by the way, so I don't know why you're sending me there. Just fucking give me my shake. But then you get this... Well, they come out. They're like, oh, sorry, we don't actually have any biscoff. Do you want just a vanilla shake? I was like, well, not fucking really, but I paid for it, so...
You know what's happening? They're chewing on the biscuits, dude. The biscuits have been...
So there was one time where there was no...
Sauce.
No sauce. So it was just a caramel shake. They're like, is that alright? I was like, oh,
You made it.
No, but
I'll take it.
I've paid for it. I don't want to pay for nothing. I'll at least get something out of it. And then the other time, they didn't even have the decency to tell me that they don't have any of the syrup. So I get it, and I was like, oh, cool, this looks like a biscoff shake. I take a sip. It's just a fucking vanilla shake with a little bit of crumb over the top of biscuits. I'm like,
should we make a segment, Will's gripe of the week, where he unloads about...
So, Hungry Jacks, just give me my fucking biscoff shake. Like, how hard is it? I don't understand. You're still advertising it, but you can't get it. Is it some fucking secret? And this isn't one specific store, right? This isn't a problem with one. I've gone to 5 different places. 5 different stores, various days, various times. None of them have it. Sort your shit out.
No. Team Hungry Jacks over here. Don't shoot me. Shoot him.
Fuck yous all.
Is that how you would like to end the podcast, sir?
Yeah. Fuck you, Hungry Jacks. Goodbye.